As the 2024 NFL Draft gets closer, I've decided to start releasing my final positional rankings. Today, I've decided to tackle the edge rushing position. But first, let's take a look at some players that just missed out on the top 10. My first honorable mention is Brandon Dorlus. Only reason Dorlus is an honorable mention is because I think some teams might want him to add weight and become a full-time 3-tech, or at least play on the interior a little bit more. Dorlus is a heavy-handed pass rusher with a unique frame and pocket collapsing strength. Next is Jonah Ellis. Ellis comes from great pedigree. As a pass rusher, Ellis has a never-ending motor and a fantastic inside counter move and natural bend. Ellis is a little too slow off the edge for me and might be viewed more as an outside linebacker in the NFL. Next, we have Gabriel Murphy. Murphy doesn't possess elite arm length or overall size, but he's an explosive athlete that uses natural leverage to work off blocks quickly to get into the backfield. Murphy is also an above-average run defender, and that'll put him higher on some draft boards. Next, we have Myles Cole. You would think that a 6th-year collegiate athlete would be a little bit more NFL ready, but unfortunately, that's not the case with Myles Cole, as he still has room to grow and tap into his untapped potential. But at 6'6", 278 pounds, with incredible athleticism and strong active hands, the intangibles are certainly there. And lastly, we have Xavier Thomas. Thomas's athletic profile or overall size won't blow you away, but he possesses an incredible motor and is one of the most technically sound edge rushers in the entire class. He will be a great complementary player. Kicking off the list at number 10, I have Bralen Trice. For me, and many others, Trice's draft stock has taken a real hit after the end of the 2023 college football season. In my honest opinion, despite all the sparkling numbers Trice puts up in terms of pressure over the last 2 seasons, his game tape never really did it for me. Not to mention, he came in 30 pounds lighter than we initially all thought at the combine at just 245 pounds. But Trice's motor, second effort plays, leverage, and pocket collapsing ability will most likely get him drafted at some point in day 2. For me, Trice's inability to get off initial blocks and lack of short area quickness make him a little bit lower on this list. At number 9, I have Mohamed Kamara. One of the quote-unquote smaller edge rushers in this year's class, Mohamed Kamara is one of my favorites. At 6'1", 248 pounds, Kamara has been uber productive over the last 3 seasons at Colorado State, with 42 tackles for loss and 28.5 sacks. Kamara is also a sound run defender and consistently sets the edge properly and makes plays in the backfield. Kamara uses his violent hands and consistent churning of his legs to advance towards the quarterback even when being blocked. He is one of the most disruptive players in the class and rather slept on at this point. I think Kamara has pushed himself into late day 2 or early day 3 consideration. At number 8, I have Chris Braswell. 2023 was a season to remember for Chris Braswell. He put together one of the more productive seasons in the entire class, totaling 8 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, a pick 6, and 10.5 tackles for a loss. On the All-Star circuit, Braswell had a very nice Senior Bowl and put together a fine combine performance, showcasing his 4.6 speed. Braswell is one of the best speed-to-power rushers in the class and possesses some truly forklift-type power. For me, Braswell has to develop more as a pass rusher, as he's a little bit of a one-trick pony as of right now. But with just over 1,200 collegiate snaps to his name, he has plenty of untapped potential to develop into more of a complete player. Coming in at number 7, I have Adisa Isaac. After tearing his Achilles in 2021, Adisa Isaac bounced back nicely over the past 2 seasons. Isaac possesses the ideal frame and explosiveness to become an every down impact player across multiple alignments. Isaac is a fantastic edge setter and is a tackle for a loss machine. Isaac totaled 11.5 sacks and 27 TFLs over his last 2 seasons for the Nittany Lions. Isaac uses his explosiveness and wrecking ball playstyle to be a force off the edge. Questions about Isaac's ability to counter inside might surface, but given his ability to win in multiple wide alignments, I don't really think this will be a big issue. And at number 6, I have his counterpart, Chop Robinson. To me, Chop Robinson is one of the more frustrating prospects to watch and rank. On one hand, Robinson has a unique blend of explosiveness and high-level athleticism. He has all the athletic tools you are looking for. But on the other hand, Robinson is incredibly raw and hasn't put it all together yet on tape. But Robinson is a natural edge setter due to his incredible 4.48 speed, and Robinson is surprisingly powerful in his lower half. With the correct development with a good NFL coach, Chop will become a Micah Parsons type of player, as his incredibly high floor already means that he will be a good player at the very worst. Kicking off the top 5, I have Marshon Nean. I've been using the relentless motor term quite frequently in this video up until this point, but with Marshon Nean, it truly does seem relentless. While his stats on paper won't blow you away, his athletic profile, effort, and pursuit will. As a run defender, Nean uses his heavy, violent hands to explode into the backfield from interior alignments, and sets the edge nicely when aligned out wide. Nean needs to develop his finesse game a little bit more, as he often relies too much on his bull rush. But Nean is a disruptive force consistently, and would be an excellent complementary rusher. At number 4, I have Darius Robinson. Robinson is quite possibly the most versatile defensive lineman in the entire draft class. This past season at Missouri saw him line up from the 2-eye all the way wide to wide 9, and he was successful just about everywhere he lined up. Robinson has a freakish power profile and some incredible measurements. Despite his slower agility test numbers, on tape, Robinson explodes off the line of scrimmage and is able to create pressure with his play speed. Robinson affords defensive coordinators a lot of versatility, and his ability to create consistent pressure from multiple alignments will make him highly coveted come draft time. Kicking off the top 3, I have Latu Latu. With his medical history firmly far behind him, Latu is perhaps the smartest pass rusher in the entire class. Latu's approach is both well thought out and instinctive, and he's brilliant at taking possession of the rep using his quick, violent hands and slippery angle-driven rushes to open up pressure opportunities. Latu has been one of the most productive pass rushers in college football over the past 2 seasons, and was PFF's highest graded defensive end ever in 2023, with a 96.4 overall grade. Latu's overall athletic profile makes me confident that he can succeed in both odd and even defensive fronts at the NFL level. Coming in as my runner-up, I have Jared Verse. Starting out his collegiate career as a tight end at the University of Albany, Jared Verse steadily climbed the ranks as time went on. Verse had one of the most eye-opening combines of any edge rusher, as he exceeded expectations in just about every drill. Verse is another player that projects well to the NFL due to his versatility. But Verse's power profile, combined with his natural athleticism and explosiveness, you could be looking at the most productive pass rusher in the class very early on. From a technical standpoint, I don't think there is a player as sound as Jared Verse in the draft class. And at number 1, I have Dallas Turner. The top 3 was honestly a tough call. I feel like all 3 players bring just a little something different to the table. But for me, Dallas Turner's athletic profile, production, and age ultimately made him the choice at number 1. Turner is visibly the faster player off the edge in the class, and he combines that speed with elite bend. Turner is the most fluid athlete on this list, and his lateral agility and twitched-up explosiveness blow away almost everyone else on this list. Respectfully. The sack numbers might not come as quickly in the NFL right away, but like his former teammate Will Anderson Jr., Turner will affect the game in so many different ways that the sack total at the end of the year might not matter as much.